Alright, what's up? What's going on, guys? CaptainMonk here. Today's game, we're playing some Wukong in the jungle, rocking that underworld skin, that legacy skin that came out a few years ago. We are rocking this skin in today's game because we are also rocking Dark Harvest, and I kind of feel like those two just kind of thematically go kind of hand in hand, being kind of a little bit, more edgy. Undead Wukong with the underworld skin, Dark Harvest being a little bit, edgy, kind of reminds you of like Talon or Zed or something like that. I don't really know exactly how to best explain it, but I just felt like Radiant Wukong wouldn't really be reflecting the atmosphere of Dark Harvest very well. But the reason we're rocking Dark Harvest in today's game here, though, guys, is because the main item, the main pivotal item in today's game that I want to showcase is the new item, the STORMRAZOR. The STORMRAZOR is a new item that makes it so that after 2.5 seconds of not auto-attacking, your next auto-attack will crit, and since your Crushing Blow on Wukong can act as an auto-attack, you can crit off of your Q. Not to mention, Dark Harvest enables your next auto attack after getting a Dark Harvest kind of soul thing to actually be buffed. So instead of Electrocute, which takes 3 hits, you can just walk up to somebody with your Crushing Blow with Dark Harvest ready and STORMRAZOR available and just whack, and they're gone. So that's a big part of what it is I want to showcase in today's video, and I want to show that to you guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey guys, before this video gets underway, I want to show you guys a brand new app that just came to be quite recently called PlayVig. PlayVig is really great because it does enable you to be rewarded for being good at different video games, from Hearthstone to Rocket League to League of Legends, of course, Overwatch, CSGO, PUBG, Fortnite, a wide amount of games here that of course have all very big player bases that I imagine many of you guys play. You can be rewarded for being good at these games in the form of points. And these points, as you can see once I shrink down the app window and look at the shop, you can exchange these points for different forms of currency within these games. So for League of Legends specifically, you can get $10 worth of RP for 10,450 points, which isn't too bad to do because, of course, as you can see, there's many little tasks that you can take on that are actually quite simple, and you can rack up your points like so. Of course, to fund all this for PlayVig, the way it all works is you have to watch an advertisement. So if I was to go for the 20 kills in Summer's Rift win, which I will be taking on in today's video, start the quest, and then an ad plays. So I'll see you guys after the video and see if I actually completed the task. We are, of course, looking towards getting 20 kills, and, rocking Electrocute, it's a lot more of early game damage, a little bit of early game burst. So it's definitely better to snowball early, but snowballing too early too soon kind of limits my ability to hit 20 kills, and maybe popping off a little bit later on in the game with Dark Harvest would be better for getting those 20 kills. And, well, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but what I will say is I'm not the kind of guy to give myself a challenge that I can't achieve, and I'm also not the kind of guy to give myself a challenge that I will not follow through on and, pursue all the way through. So I'll leave you guys with that in mind. Let's go ahead and look at the gameplay here real quick, where we are, of course, diving into the Zax's jungle. This is an invade I do very frequently, where as Wukong, I start off on blue side and I take my red buff, and then I just run straight at their Gromp, because very many junglers will take Gromp in preparation for the Scuttle Crab that comes to the river. But you'll notice there that I unfortunately don't quite kill the Zac, because I tried and smite one of his blobs that was still full HP, and it ends up missing and actually hitting Gromp, and from there I didn't really see any other option other than finishing Gromp and flashing to safety. But, Zac's passive's gone. Zac didn't get the Gromp. Vayne used heal. It is quite profitable for me, although I did lose flash, but it wasn't quite ideally what I was looking for, so that is kind of unfortunate. Now, by now, you guys might have noticed by my hands being up here that we are not actually doing a live gameplay commentary. This is a full game commentary, but I'm not doing it live because there are many things in today's video that I want to bring up to you. I want to bring many things to your attention, and I just don't think it's possible for me to do it all while playing at the same time, because if I was to try and do it all and the gameplay was to go to like 20 minutes and they were to surrender for one of many thousand times that happens, which is really unfortunate, and if I'm not finished all the topics, I'd get very frustrated. So I just kind of wanted to sit back, play some League, play until I got a game I would like to talk over, and then talk over the gameplay with all these topics that I literally have 3 pages here in front of me that I want to detail. So now that I've kind of detailed the gameplay, Dark Harvest Wukong, looking to stack those up, get a Tiamat so we can farm a little bit more effectively in our jungle camps to stack up the Dark Harvest souls, and look for the one-shots and look for the 20 kills. That's all kind of the plan for this one, and that kind of details the gameplay. I would have liked to every now and then kind of just talk about the gameplay as things are taking place that are worth mentioning, but for here on out, let's go ahead and detail what it is I want to bring up to you guys as far as these topics go. So first things first, I want to talk to you guys about full game commentaries as a topic. I have been kind of away from making content throughout January, February, March, and April this year, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'll explain why that all went down the way it did in a moment. But what I first want to explain is throughout May, we're in June now, I posted a lot of content that was edited down. And the reason for that is really quite straightforward, and I'll try my best to dive into it. But I first want to talk about full game commentaries and why it is they're kind of challenging. There's, I would say, 4 different ways a full game commentary could be recorded. PBE, normals, Smurf ranked, right? And so for full game commentaries of PBE content, you know, if it's a new champion, if it's a new rework, and I spend the commentary talking about how that champion works, the strategy for that champion, how it's new and stuff, and what's to be thinking about, even if the PBE gameplay is underwhelming, which it normally is, you know, at least you're learning about how the champion works. So I feel like full game commentaries in those kind of situations makes sense. Now, admittedly, I did kind of screw up on Pyke, which was a copyright error. I streamed when I was playing as Pyke, trying to do a full game commentary, and I had some background music from the stream. And when I tried to post that video as a full game commentary, it did get picked up from some copyright stuff because I did have some copyright music in the video. And that unfortunately could have risked the state of my channel's partnership, and I didn't really want to risk that. So I took that video down and actually had it edited up so that the music could be kind of camouflaged so that I could still use the footage, because I wanted to get that video up, you know, not ASAP. It's not like I pooped the video out immediately, but I still wanted to use that footage because I thought it was a pretty good game. We almost got a pentakill and stuff. I thought it was, you know, a good game that I didn't want to waste. But in the same moment, unfortunately, because of the music in the background, which was my mistake, I should have handled that differently. I couldn't use it as a full game as I had intended. So Pyke's kind of an exception, but I'll go ahead and lay this question out for you guys directly now. Would you like to see a full game commentary of Pyke? And if so, would you like to see it in the jungle or in the support role where he is usually played more so? If you'd like to see either, feel free to let me know and we can look into that. But I just kind of want to know about that for starters, because that's the only champion in the whole game that I do not have a full game commentary detailing how he works. I do have an edited down gameplay where I detail how he works, but unfortunately it's not a full game. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. But as far as PBE content goes, new champion, new rework, even if it's like a huge buff or a huge overhaul that's not technically a rework, sure, I could do a full game commentary of that, but those aren't frequent enough for me to make my entire channel full game commentaries anymore. And I hope you guys can kind of get on board with what it is I'm describing with that, because if a new skin comes out and, you know, it's the champion that I made a video of explaining how they work when they first got reworked or got released or whatever, and that content exists where I do explain how the champion works and the strategy behind it, it just feels a little bit overkill to make a commentary explaining the strategy for the champion in these PBE videos where the PBE is just kind of a joke of a server. Since it's kind of a joke of a server and people are testing stuff, people aren't really taking it seriously, they're just kind of having fun, you know, why shouldn't I do the same thing? I'm not saying I'm going to troll, no, I'm not saying that, but why not play alongside friends and fans and, you know, have some fun myself, try out some different builds with the champion and, you know, showcase the new skin, but, you know, make it an enjoyable, entertaining video rather than an educational, structured commentary, right? Because the PBE just really isn't meant for these very serious commentaries that I'm known for when the gameplay is kind of underwhelming. I mean, many comments throughout the years I've received are kind of like, dude, like, your commentary is great, your gameplay is great, but, like, man, like, what's with these PBE players? Like, this PBE gameplay is almost, you know, unsatisfying to watch because these players you're against are just so brain dead. And I feel the same way, and that's kind of why it is. If I'm showcasing a new skin, it's all about the new skin. It's not about anything else. You know, I feel like I should be able to make the most of what the footage actually is on the PBE by having some fun and trying some troll builds and having some fun and playing alongside some friends and fans. And that's kind of what the month of May has really been for the content that I posted, was, you know, kind of experimental, trying out these edits and showing you guys, you know, what kind of edits can be done, because I did try that out last summer, but having worked a different job this past early 2018, you know, I had some extra funds that I put towards this edited content to kind of give back to you guys, to show you guys that I am capable of more than just these structured full game commentaries. Instead, I can polish off these edited videos with some editors working alongside me with this editing formula that I put together of the style that I want to try. And, you know, I think the videos have been really, really good in the sense that, you know, the comments are really positive. You guys are really liking them from what it seems. And the ratings are really good. I'm getting very few dislikes, but in total, the viewership is very low. And I want to explain why that is from an algorithm perspective to kind of clarify this to you guys, because a lot of people have actually been commenting things, you know, along the lines of, hey, you know, I subscribe for full game commentaries. This is full game commentary. What the hell is this? I don't want to watch this, without really giving the content a chance. Firstly, the other kind of comment I'm getting a lot of is, you know, hey, the views are low on this because it's not full game commentary. What are you doing to your channel? Why don't you just do full game commentary again? And I just kind of want to detail that the reason the views are low, guys, is really quite straightforward. Before I detail that, though, I want to point out right here that I thought my Q would kill her and it didn't, but then the red buff got it, so I was just kind of happy with that moment there. But as far as actually, I'll mention this as well. In the chat, I very frequently throughout this game just kind of talk in chat a little bit to like detail to my teammates what I'm thinking, but it's more so for you guys, just in case throughout today's commentary, if I was like not paying attention to the gameplay while I'm talking about something and something in the gameplay happens, it's kind of potentially significant, and maybe you're wondering what I'm thinking about that. I just kind of talked in chat just to kind of clarify that, so I don't have to always detail what's happening in the gameplay in case I'm on topic with something specific. So to kind of come back to what I was talking about here, which I actually kind of lost my train of thought, unfortunately. Let me just look at my notes and see if I can get back on topic here real quick. Yeah, so this past month, the experimental edits and stuff. Right, I was talking about the algorithm. So the way the algorithm kind of works, and I want to detail this as best as I can, is considering the fact my channel has existed, making full game commentaries for like 5 years, there are a few of you who, watch most of my content. I would say like 65% of the content that comes up, maybe 75, somewhere in that range. And if that is you, then you're probably being notified for most of the content I post. Most of it's probably in your sub box when it comes out. But majority of my audience, I would say like 90% of you guys don't watch majority of my content. And I'm not sitting here asking you guys to watch that content. You watch what you want to watch. That's totally cool. I'm in the same boat. I watch what I want to watch. I don't watch any YouTubers for like 65% plus of their content because frankly I'm too busy making my own content. But even before I made content, there were very few people I watched that frequently. And so I totally understand that. I'm not gonna give you guys flack for that one. What I'm gonna say though is if you're somebody who's only watched, hey, I like this Jax commentary you made, Monk. I like this Wukong commentary. I like this Jace commentary, and that's the content of mine you've watched. That's the content you subscribe for. That's the content you've engaged with. It makes sense from an algorithm standpoint that if I'm making a video of those champions again because you engaged with those champions, then you'd be notified when that comes to your sub box. Otherwise though, YouTube's not going to show that to you, right? They're not going to show you my new videos unless it's similar to content you've already engaged with. That's just kind of the way the algorithm works now. It used to work in such a way that if you subscribed, you'd see all content. But now that users are subscribed to like hundreds of channels, there's just no way to have it all in your sub box, all on the front page. It's just not possible. Because of that, YouTube prioritizes the content that's most geared towards what it is you have previously engaged with. Which again, if you've watched me for certain champions, when I post those champions again, you'll be notified probably. It's not a perfect system, but that's again, probably how it's going to line up. And if you're somebody who watches me for almost everything I post, then you will be notified for almost everything I post. And if you're somebody who's only really engaged with my full game commentaries, but never really engaged with my edited videos, then you're probably not going to be notified when I post edited videos. And since I've only been doing edited videos for a very short period of time, majority of my audience has not yet seen my edited content. That's just the reality of it, and that's just the way the algorithm works. So all this is to say, I realize the edited videos haven't been doing well as far as total engagement goes, total viewership goes, but I'm not really sweating about it because I realize that, I believe in the content. I believe it's good. I believe it will catch on. It's just going to take some time for people to really catch on to watching it. Right here, I want to detail that right here, the tower's hitbox is way too big, and I ended up hitting the tower instead of Orianna with my crushing blow, which was kind of awkward, but we get her anyway, so it's fine. But maybe Riot reduce the hitbox size of tower. That'd be nice. Maybe that's just me who thinks that though. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not too worried about my edited content videos not really getting the viewership I feel they deserve just yet, because I feel like, with good content comes viewership. It just takes time. And I think a really important thing to point out as well is the fact that I have actually spoken to YouTube developers who kind of work in the back room, who kind of explain to me how the YouTube algorithm works, and that's kind of how it is I know why it is these videos aren't getting the viewership that my other videos would previously get, is because it's a different content style, right? The algorithm is clever enough, and speaking of clever enough, I'm going to go ahead here and Uno and Dose, their bot line here. But yeah, the YouTube algorithm is clever enough to see that, hey, this user engaged with your content that's 25, 30, 35 minutes long. You post a 12-minute video, okay, they're not going to get notified, right? That's just kind of the way the algorithm kind of works. So it will take some time for it to catch on. But I've also spoken to some individuals who are quite engaged with YouTube and League of Legends content, that kind of stuff, and I've asked them directly, hey, can you criticize this content? Can you critique this for me and let me know what's good and what's bad about it? And they're like, dude, honestly, this is really entertaining, this is really good, you got some education in there because you're still CaptainMonk, you're still teaching some things, but you're having fun, you're playing alongside some friends and some fans, and you're laughing, you're having a good time, it's entertaining, it's good gameplay, this is good, right? It takes some time for transitions to be made, right? And I think in a way, a good way to kind of look at it is I built a house, right? And before I build a deck or I build a garage, I kind of need to take some pieces off of the house to kind of make space to add those other pieces onto the house. And that's kind of what's going on right now, is my channel's kind of that transition phase where I'm kind of taking some pieces away so I can add something bigger on. And that is, of course, these edited videos, but I need to make room for these edited videos. And in the process, it's going to take some time to kind of make room for all that. And so, these edited videos, they've been a bit of a process of kind of trying some different things, because I have been making full game commentaries almost exclusively for 4.5 years. And that is quite a long time to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. And this isn't to say I'm losing my sanity or anything like that, but do you guys know the definition of insanity? It's trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And that's kind of what I think my channel came to, was doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for different results, but knowing I'm probably not going to have different results because I'm doing the same thing over and over again. So I've kind of been wanting to try some different things, and that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I've been given by other YouTubers who I've asked for guidance. They say, keep trying different things. Maybe it doesn't work, but at least then you know what does and doesn't work. And if you just keep trying stuff, eventually something's going to catch on, and you're going to really want to drive that home because it has been successful. And that's just something I really think is something I've been trying to pursue. But another big part of it, man, is like, making videos all these years, it's been a little bit egotistical. And what I mean by that is, when I'm making a video, it's all about me. It's all about me getting a good score line. It's about me playing well. It's about my teammates backing me up. And you can see right here, my teammates from top and middle lane, they collapse on the plays that I'm trying to make as I'm doing my best to communicate to them where to be. And I think Krez just goes a little bit too aggressive here for the tower dive. But we do end up getting the Orianna because we kind of bait them in, and we get the Zac too. But when I'm doing these full game commentaries solo, and it's all about me doing well and stuff, and my teammates are just doing their best just to assist me and stuff, it's a little bit unfair towards them. So these edited videos where I'm playing alongside these friends and fans who I want to detail and say, they were originally fans and became my friends through being engaged with my content and helping me, and being friends and me doing my best to be their friend too. It's really great, and I kind of want to give a bit of a shout out to these people. But I firstly want to say, the edited content's been like the best way I can really figure it out to really give back to these people who have been so helpful and so engaged with what it is I'm doing. Is, I'm giving them an opportunity to kind of be more in the spotlight. Maybe not to like a great extent, but I had the voice comms going on so their voice could be heard, because generally speaking, when you're making content with other people, as a League of Legends YouTuber, usually, it's, one or two people in the voice comm, or maybe it's a, it's another YouTuber who you're collaborating with and you're both chatting while you're doing some bot lane strategy or something like that. But there's enough individuals that I just don't really feel like it makes sense to put them each individually in the spotlight in a dual lane with me or something like that, because I'm not really a big fan of going bot lane anyways. And so I just kind of figured that this might be the best way to kind of put them in the spotlight a little bit and kind of give back to them and show my appreciation towards them for all the things they've done for me over the years, is play alongside them in these fun PvE games when I'm jungling, and gank their lanes and have them kind of maybe toss in some one-liners and have some fun. But admittedly, it's something I'm trying to figure out myself, and so I'm not totally sure in which scenarios they should be bringing up things and when they should be speaking and stuff, because admittedly, doing full game commentaries for this many years, I think they're kind of used to me just kind of talking nonstop like I'm doing in today's game right now. And they're not really used to, knowing the timing for when they should kind of, say, hey, you should come gank this top lane. This top lane's a free kill, or, making some jokes and having some fun. Like, I don't think it's really been experimented with enough for them to really know when to say what and when to, kind of just let me take control of the conversation, stuff like that. But, it's been an opportunity for me to really give back to those who have been super supportive. So I want to directly thank those people who I want to say outright, like, you probably know who you are when I'm thanking you right now for being a part of my life and being a part of my server and my stream and my YouTube channel and being supportive and all these things. Like, I just want to directly thank you very much. I mean, in this game specifically, we're playing alongside SM Grubbin on the Ornn top. We have Krez, who you might know by the name iGank No Problem, playing as our Vigar in the mid lane. We got Dubesman, who's playing as the Xayah AD carry, and Dubesman has actually been one of the main DJs for my stream. He kind of sets up all the music in the dub track that kind of plays the music for my stream. So he keeps the music kind of in theme with the champion I'm playing, but also within the mood of the stream and how things are going. And then Arc Dimensions is actually playing as our Soraka support. And these are just 4 individuals of, like, I want to say like 2 or 3 dozen people who have been really, really, involved with what it is I do and really, really helpful and help me get gameplays and, are supportive, and they help me with things. And I really want to directly thank you guys for being a part of my life and just being really awesome, because I could not get this far on my own. Like, no way in hell could I have come this far on my own. So thank you so very much, you guys. And so to kind of wrap up this topic that we're kind of going in around and kind of playing around with, it's a very tough topic to bring up, I think, with all these different pages I've written down, but I'm going to do my best to keep being structured as best I can for the rest of this, because we're about 19 minutes in now. So to kind of give some bottom lines for things, PBE content, because PBE content is necessary for a YouTube channel for League to be successful. It's just impossible to not showcase some new stuff every now and then. If it's a new champion or rework, expect a full game commentary, and I'll detail as best as I can what it's all about, because even if the gameplay is underwhelming, at least after watching that video, you'll feel like you understand how to play that character and what they're all about and the strategy behind them. I would expect for new skins and little buffs and maybe little small meta shifts that I'll do something a little bit more fun and I'll be a little bit more entertaining. I mean, obviously I'm not like a super entertaining personality, but I think what I bring to the table as far as entertainment goes is I'm relatable, and I think I'm somebody who's also really down to earth, and I feel like people can be entertained by that when I go and do things like this and one-shot Nami. That was kind of fun. And right here we actually run into Zac as well, and I know all I have to do is dodge the elastic slingshot, so I go ahead and do exactly that, then nuke their Vayne with the Stormrazor. You can see already how powerful the Stormrazor is, and then right here of course we get the triple. See you later, Zac. Now right here though, the Jace shows up. We go ahead and use our decoy. I try to block the EQ combo, but I quite fail actually. Now right there, I want to detail what happened there because I was trying to stand in the brush at the edge so that he would have to face check to see me, and then he could use his spells, and that would give me a little bit extra time to fight him and potentially win. But unfortunately, I just barely don't quite get in the brush, so he uses his melee form Q and flips into me and does damage a little bit faster than would have been done if he face checked. So unfortunately, a small little misstep that causes me to die and lose the Quadra, but no big deal. You can see though the Stormrazor really made a big difference, killing that Nami and killing the Vayne, the big crits. It's pretty crazy, and it gets even bigger once I finish Dustblade, so pretty cool item. So yeah, small meta changes, small skins or whatever. I'll probably do edited down videos where I'm playing alongside friends and fans and just having some fun, be entertaining. Because I realize again I'm not the most entertaining personality, but I don't think that means I can't be entertaining as far as playing with friends and having some fun and making some good plays and stuff like that. I feel like I'm capable of all these things, and I hope that you guys don't mind giving me a try and seeing if I can actually entertain you and be more than just an analytical commentator who just, details what I'm doing and why and what I'm thinking about, because oftentimes in these PvE games, I can be completely brain dead and still carry because these games are often very, very one-sided and easy, especially when players are AFK and surrendering. And that's another detail as to why I want to be able to do edited content. I can't always get one concise gameplay that's like 25-30 minutes where everything that I want to happen in the game happens in that one game. Oftentimes, I pop off and then they surrender at 15 minutes. And it'd be nice to know that when that happens, I don't have to just use that one 15-minute game that's kind of underwhelming. I'd like to instead play another one that maybe it's 15 minutes again, maybe it's 20 minutes, maybe we lose, maybe it's a close loss, maybe it's a close victory. But I'd like to be able to put these games side by side in one video to kind of show the whole story of this champion without it having to be one game. And that can only be done with editing. And I hope you guys don't mind that idea for content, because I've been doing that a little bit this past month in the month of May, where instead of just having one game for one video, it can instead be a couple games to kind of wrap up the entirety of what a champion and the strategy I'm pursuing can be in more than just one game, because one game can just be a stomp, or it can be a close victory, or it could be us getting stomped. I mean, there's just so many different possibilities, and I like to kind of show more than just one game. Not all the time, but sometimes it'd be nice to. This game right here specifically is an NA normal game because I wanted to do the challenge for PlayVig, and I didn't really think I'd be able to pull off 20 kills in a ranked game. So I decided I would do this in a normals game, but I would expect me to not do normals for most of my videos going forward, just since, PB is technically normals, but PB is also showcasing new content. And while I would say PB is a little bit less competitive than NA normals, what I will say is NA normals, it has the same problem that is just as common for players to AFK or surrender, and it's just not worth putting up with that so frequently when there's no new content. If there's new content and it's the only place I can play with the new content, then fine, I'll put up with it. But NA normals, when there's nothing new about it, it's just so underwhelming when players AFK and surrender and troll so frequently. I'm just not about that anymore. And as far as the last two potential kinds of content come, Smurf ranked. I wouldn't mind making some Smurf ranked videos where I'm playing with different champions, different roles, not always jungling and, whatever. I want to be able to play a bit of a variety. But right now on my list of priorities, Smurf ranked games, I would say is the third priority. First priority being PBE, new content, because those are the videos that I get the most engagement out of and I could show the most stuff because it's, again, new and people want to see new stuff. Beyond that, playing ranked games as Wukong is my second priority, and I'm doing that a lot on my stream. I do want to talk to you guys about my stream actually, but I first want to finish this topic here. The third priority will then be Smurf ranked games where I just play on my Smurfs and I play some different champions and different strategies in a little bit lower elo where I feel like I can actually maybe not be impressive every single game, but I could still do some stuff and compete and not just get completely smashed. Because the reality is, if I'm playing anything I'm not exactly practiced in higher elos, I'm probably gonna have to get lucky, if not play enough games to the point where I'm exhausted and I just probably wouldn't be able to do a very structured, good commentary anymore. So as far as ranked games, actually, let me just hold this thought because this is a fight worth seeing right here. You know, I find an opportunity to fight the Jace. I Nimbus first, use the Crushing Blow, gets that nice crit in there. I spin to win, and once the 2.5 seconds has timed out, I actually cancel my ultimate to get that nice big crit in there with the auto attack, and then I get my Tiamat reset in there to keep the damage flowing, and the Jace goes down. That's a very good thing to do with Wukong because of the Stormrazor, is engage, get that crit in there, spin for 2.5 seconds at the very least, and then cancel it so you get another auto attack in there that is a crit, because of course every 2.5 second break between auto attacks enables the next crit. So that's a really good thing to do with Wukong because of his spin, and I think it's a really good strategy. But yeah, this season, guys, I am playing Wukong 100% of the time in my ranked games, and at least on my main, not on my Smurfs, but on my main I'm playing Wukong 100%. I placed Plat 5, and I placed Plat 5 3 weeks ago. I've been playing ranked for only 3 weeks. This rest of the year entirely, I have not been playing ranked like whatsoever. And I've even barely played this past year, and I want to explain a little bit why that was. But frankly, I've got like 10 minutes left, and I have many things to get into. So I'm going to try my best to kind of detail it all as best I can here. So yeah, like I didn't really play much ranked, and this past 3 weeks I've been playing lots. Placed Plat 5 with 6 and 4, kind of disappointing placements, but still, it's not bad. We're now in Plat 2 in promos to Plat 1, and I'm thinking I should be able to get to Diamond very easily. Not to sound arrogant or anything, but I have been Diamond seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7, getting as high as Diamond 1 and 2 of those seasons. So I just feel like I should be able to get Diamond again, even if I'm just playing Wukong, who is kind of underwhelming. But in the same moment, with Stormrazor coming out, that helps my snowball potential and my carry potential as Wukong in games where I get really ahead and want to do damage. Because of exactly what you're seeing here, you know, I'm able to do a lot of damage with those crit auto attacks, and then I'm able to do it again here to Jace after my ultimate times out. But it's also that the item Spear of Shojin is on the it's on the prowl, it's on the way, and Spear of Shojin does enable your passive as Wukong to not only just, you know, give you extra resists, but for the very same reasons of, you know, being around many champions, you're able to get like 200% damage reduction, which is like crazy. I don't think that's actually the way it works, 200%. That seems like it doesn't really make sense, because 100% damage reduction would reduce all your damage entirely, but there's like a 200% number in there somehow, so there's some math to make it so that you take very little damage with Spear of Shojin when being around many champions, and with Wukong's ultimate, that sounds perfect. So I think Wukong is going to get better this season. I think getting to be the best Wukong NA is a possibility for me. That is my goal. You know, it might be a very, very tall task, and maybe a goal I won't achieve, but I'm not going to fail at it for a lack of trying. That's my goal right there, is to at least try. And I think if I try, there's a good chance of me doing it, but in the same moment, admittedly, it's kind of a weird system in that one of the best Wukongs in North America is 1-9 with him this season, but because he's Challenger, he's one of the best Wukongs NA. And that just seems kind of strange to me, so it's very elo based, but it's not the only considerable. It's not the only factor. You can be the best Wukong NA, you know, being D3, if you've got enough games and a good enough win rate and enough mastery points. All those other things are taken into consideration, so we'll see if I can do it. I believe, dude, I believe, but it's going to take some time. And that kind of segues into my stream, right? You know, I did mention there's 3 different kinds of content I want to make, and the third priority being Smurf ranked games. For the time being, I'm really focusing on PvE content because there's a lot of new releases lately. So that's like half of what my stream is playing PvE content and trying these new strategies and these new builds and these new skins and these new reworks and stuff like that. And in the second half of my stream, I'm playing a lot of ranked as Wukong, looking to be the best Wukong NA as much as I can. And again, that's like half of my stream footage. So if you guys are interested in either of that and wanted to see any of that live, I would recommend you check out my stream. But even if you don't want to watch it live, if you're wanting to see a lot of this content just because you want to see it and you want to see it without editing, then I would watch my past broadcasts. Because on Twitch, all my broadcasts, in fact, all my broadcasts are saved as past broadcasts, and that's a lot of the same words. But you can actually go back and watch them. So you can just kind of like skip through the VOD, find the part in the stream that has a gameplay you want to watch, and then you can go back and watch it. I realize it may not be as ideal as watching a full game commentary on YouTube, but I feel like there's only so many ways I can market a full game commentary for Wukong games and ranked, right? And that was in fact a one-shot on Vayne. My Nimbus Strike did not do damage, although I did use it because the animation is pretty quick if you combo with your Q, but the Q was the only damage was necessary for that one. There may or may not be another one-shot later that is a little bit easier to see. I'll go ahead and slightly spoil that one. So yeah, to kind of bottom line things for you guys, PB content, expect full game commentaries for new champions and reworks, expect edited content for new skins and small buffs, expect it to be fun, and maybe give it a try. If you're somebody who did not come to me for full game edited videos and are kind of disappointed that a lot of edited videos are going out lately, please do not take that as my channel being entirely edited content forever and ever and ever. It's just something we're trying out because I'm getting back into the swing of things, and I hope you guys don't mind giving them a chance and checking them out. Meanwhile, I'm planting my pool in their jungle, claiming my territory. Don't expect normal games, at least not in anywhere besides PvE, because PvE you don't really have a choice. But otherwise, I'm probably not going to post normal games anymore because they're just kind of boring and people tend to AFK and surrender. But that's definitely not boring, despite this game being a PvE game. That was an actual one-shot on Vayne, so I have achieved what I was looking to achieve this game. Other than, of course, we need the 20 kills. We're at 19 right now. You know, it's possible we'll get it. We'll have to see what happens. But let's see. One thing I do want to mention, actually, that I think is really important is, of course, my hiatus from making content throughout January, February, March, and April, and kind of why that was going on. I had a very similar thing going on in 2016, where I had a similar realization that my whole life was kind of about making videos. It's about playing League, it's about YouTube, it's about all that kind of stuff, and I wasn't really able to do much more with my life. And I had that same realization in 2016, and I wanted to be more than just a YouTuber. I wanted to be able to do more with my life, and a good way to kind of understand this and sympathize with what it is I'm describing is visualize a pizza, where, you know, maybe it's cut up into 6 or 8 slices, whatever, but only one slice has toppings. Maybe 2, but let's call it 1, right? It's one slice, it's got pepperoni on it, it's got some, you know, some sausage, some bacon, you know, maybe some pineapple. I don't know what you guys like on your pizza, maybe some mushrooms or peppers. You know, I just like a pizza personally, or a barbecue chicken pizza, but that's just my preference. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that I didn't have toppings everywhere in my life. I had toppings on my YouTube channel and streaming and YouTube, and all that's kind of like, you know, one topic. It's all League of Legends. It's all like that one thing. And other things, I just didn't really have anything else going on. Like, it was just like cheese pizza for everything else. And that's just kind of lame. And I think to be a commentator, to be a personality, I need to be a well-rounded person. I don't think I could get very far if I'm just a League YouTuber who just talks about League nonstop. I mean, maybe I could, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like for what it is I want to be, you know, being CaptainMonk and all, and wanting to be a little bit more philosophy-based and a little bit more strategy-based and analysis-based, I want to be able to be an interesting personality because I've actually done some stuff, right? I want to do more than just League. And that's kind of what the next step is for me, guys, is, you know, I was trying to work a job for broadband TV in an attempt to be more than just a guy who sits at home playing video games. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for me, which is unfortunate, but I will actually be moving to LA this next month in July. I'll be living in a gaming house with Jeremy, Gaming Curios, Matthew, Pantsar Dragons, or Pantsar Dragon, I apologize, and Sandy, who is Papushi. There'll be the 4 of us living in this gaming house in LA. Jeremy's organizing it, and he has invited me to join in, which I'm really excited about because this is an opportunity for me to not only still be myself in the guy who, you know, sits at home playing video games, but having these people, you know, immediately in the same home as me in my life, I think will give me opportunities to maybe be more than just somebody who sits at home playing video games all the time. I mean, obviously a lot of my time is going to go into this because this is what I've started, this is what my path is, and this is what I have been working towards. And I've been kind of wanting an opportunity like this since like 2016 or so. But I feel like having these people in my life who are a little bit more relatable to what it is I do and want to be doing, I think will give me opportunities to try and be more than just what I've been previously, and I can be a little bit more well-rounded as a result. So I'm really excited about that. The game is now done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay. We did, of course, get 21 kills, so we did get above and beyond just getting the 20 kills challenge with that extra kill coming in. I'm just going to quickly glance over here at different notes about things I want to bring up, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. We did, of course, go 21, 3, and 7 in this game, though. Got 43,000 damage. Vigar had like 30,000 something. I can't quite see. And then Jace had like 25,000, so a lot of damage all around, but majority of it was yours truly. And you can see here now that I'm pulling up PlayVig. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this, but you guys will see it in a moment here if you don't already. That we did, of course, get the 21 kills and the win, so we did complete the challenge. And in the top right, you can see my my point currency, that I do have 500 points, and that's from this one challenge alone. And so if you keep doing little challenges like this, you can rack up towards getting RP. And that's kind of PlayVig in a nutshell. So I think for the rest of this commentary here, guys, just because I want to make sure I wrap up topics, I'm going to stop really talking about PlayVig for the time being and talking about this gameplay specifically. I just kind of want to wrap up these topics I've been kind of bringing up, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because I have done this commentary a few times because I want this to be as like structured and like as polished as I can possibly make it, but I'm trying to do it all in one take to ensure that it's natural and you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from with a lot of these things. I talked about diversifying a little bit. I think in this commentary I did talk about music and stuff. I am somebody who finds music really interesting because music's very pattern based, and I haven't really been able to spend time working on music because it's something I'm not like a musician as far as like playing actual physical instruments goes. But I make music on my computer and I want to polish it. I want to work on that more, but I don't quite have people in my life that I could work with that on. And I think in LA, just because of how big LA is and how many people are in LA and all these connections I'll be able to make because of my YouTube experience and my League of Legends industry experience, there's a lot of that stuff in LA. I think it'll be possible for me to meet some people who actually are also interested in music as well, and maybe are also interested in the league, and I can kind of build some friendships based off of that, because the reality is, guys, is there's like nobody here in Vancouver, where I'm from, who does what it is I do, or is anything remotely close to what it is I do, and it's kind of frustrating because it's very isolating having nobody relatable where I'm from. And so I think in LA, just because there's a lot of people there in general, but also people I know for a fact, I'll be living with 3 of them, but there'll be other people as well who are very relatable to what it is I do. I think I'll be able to build some friendships and build some relationships that could lead towards me being more than just a League of Legends creator who sits at home playing games all the time, right? And I think I would really like to be able to be more, because the more I am, the more I can put into my commentaries and being a personality that is relatable and down to earth and the things that you guys like me to be, instead of me trying to be just overly, over the top with the gameplay, because it's the only thing I can really bring to the table when all my personality is being driven into being good at League of Legends. Let's see what else is kind of being written down here. One thing I will mention as well is, throughout the years, I've really only collaborated with Smankin, right? Like back in the 2013, 2014 days, he shouted out my channel like a bunch of times, and I don't really know what's going to happen in LA as far as collaborations go, but I think being able to have face-to-face relationships with some people, maybe within the house, but maybe also without, outside the house, just other people who live in LA, because I know the industry is very LA focused. Like a lot of people who work in streaming and videos for YouTube and League of Legends specifically live in LA because, Riot Games is situated in LA as well. I feel like a lot of these people, I might be able to get to meet them and interact with them in person. I think that might open up some opportunities for collaboration, because maybe you guys can relate to this, maybe you can't, but I do feel like going through the internet and meeting people through the internet and voice comment and stuff, it's very tough to truly be their friend through those means. And I've always felt kind of self-conscious and anxious about the idea of trying to make friends to collaborate with who also make videos so we can grow our channels together, and teamwork makes the dream work, that kind of stuff. When we're not in person, we're not really able to hang out and be friends, we're just kind of working together, and it's tough to really tell what everyone's intent is. And I want to make sure that everyone understands when we're doing those sort of things together, that it's really just about all of us being the best that we can be, and teamwork really making the dream work. But it's really tough to always express that perspective and that desire to other creators, because in a way we are kind of competitors, but we're also supposed to support one another, because supporting one another is the best way for us to all grow our own industry, our own YouTube channels, and our own streams, and all the things we do. But in the same moment, it's very tough to find that balance between growing yourself and growing your friends and your competitors. And yeah, it's, I think, something that will be a lot more streamlined, a lot more easy to make work and make sense out of, if we're all face to face within LA, where I can actually develop those relationships and make those friendships, rather than doing this all on my own from Vancouver, where there's really no one around that I could really talk to about any of these sort of things. And I've been told for years, like literally years, like, dude, you just need to collab. You just get your name out there. Like, once you start collaborating with some of these bigger names, like, people are gonna find you and they're gonna fall in love with your content, because you are what the community is maybe not lacking. It's not like I'm like the prodigy or anything like that. Like, there are definitely better YouTubers out there than myself, but in a lot of ways, I think there's some value I can bring to a large audience that not everyone knows who I am just yet. And I feel like there are some opportunities for me to help some other YouTubers find their audience within my audience, but other people who could maybe bring some of their viewers to see my content, because there may be some viewers out there who would like to see what it is I'm doing, but they just don't know that I exist just yet. And it can be kind of, one hand washes the other kind of thing. But again, you have to be really careful when you're working with people who are kind of your competitors, but also are your friends, because they work within the same space and they all kind of understand what each other go through, right? Is there anything else here I wrote down that I want to bring up? I'm sorry, I'm like not perfect in doing all this, guys. Do my best to be concise, but it is a difficult topic to bring up. I think that's it, guys. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. That's really what it comes down to, man. Like, I think a lot of what I've done throughout the years has not been optimized because it's just been me doing my best with what I know, and I've been a kid for most of it, right? I mean, technically not a kid, I was a teenager, but like by the time I was like 18, 19, I kind of realized that I really have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just trying my best, and what I'm doing is not like always working, and I would really like to be able to communicate with people who understand what it is I do, who could give me some guidance. And it's not about them giving me and me. It's also the fact that I feel like if they're helping me, there's ways in which I can help them too, and it could be, again, one hand washes the other, but it's tough to tell that sort of stuff when you're going through the internet and you don't always know what people's intents are. Yeah, I think that's it here, guys. I'm like looking through my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything, and I think I wrapped up everything. But again, I have done this commentary a few times, so I feel like I have talked about all these things, but I can't recall if it's exactly in this specific take or a different take. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize for things not being completely structured and concise. I did kind of ramble on here for, yikes, 39 minutes. But at least, it's done now, and hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully this gives you guys the answers you were looking for. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to put them in the comment section, and definitely let me know what your thoughts are, because I am very interested to hear what you guys think. And that's it here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give that rating, because the rating really helps out a lot, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace out.